a place detached from both space and time hangs a bright moon of blood red. Beneath it, a forest stretching into eternity in all directions, except for a singular path fracturing the forest itself. Many have treaded this path before, and many more would say it's not real, but those who have found it know that they never really leave it, for in most cases they themselves don't entirely make it off the road. We zoom out now from a shrine at the end of a path, past miles and miles of trees where many trails have been faced, many failed, and many where people breathed their last. More comforting scenes of fires extinguished with friends now long past once sat down to dream, to recover, and hope. But those are stories for a different day, and the doors open once more, waiting for the call of those who ask to be taken down the forest road. We're going to zoom in on a cloudy London morning, as the sun is just breaking through the smog of a bright Victorian day. Emma, can you tell us about Selma and what she's doing?
Yes, so I'm on the train, or where am I?
The platform. Could be on the train, up to you.
The platform. Standing on the platform is a tall, lanky figure shrouded in dark. Upon approaching closer, it appears to be a young woman with extremely sharp features, high cheekbones, her a bit waifish in appearance. Her eyes glow a bit of a dark red, almost like pools of lava. Her hair is short, cropped, and messy, with dark circles under her eyes. And unlike most of the women on the platform or around her, she's dressed in a full black trench coat with a cravat, men's attire, and all around an aura of gloom and gangly darkness.
Beautiful. And as you step on to the train to go back home, very few people are up at this hour, and fewer still are heading out towards the provincial parts of the area, because why would anyone need to go to such a small town this early in the morning? Begs the question why a woman alone would be going out that way, and also why there's a passing resemblance to some posters of missing people around, but it means little to you as you step on the train.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I'll just step on the train.
Nice. And the train does its familiar 40-minute drive back to your stop and to you and your sister's hometown. And what do you think you'd be doing?
On the train?
Or when you get back, up
when
to you.
I get back?
Do you have a train routine? Yeah.
Do I have a train? That's actually a great question.
Yeah, what's your train routine?
I think my train routine, since there's no one really there, right?
Yep.
I think my train routine would be to, take out my handkerchiefs, possibly a bottle of, I'm trying to, what would they use? It would be rubbing alcohol. They have rubbing alcohol in Victorian England. To wipe off my hands of any stains and or potentially blood that might have gotten on them. Rearrange my jacket if it had gotten mussed up in a scuffle. Really just like fully clean, proper, all anything that would appear askew or threatening or dangerous is cleaned and put back into place. And maybe even because I live in a small hamlet with my sister, maybe there's like a small well close to our house that I would probably splash myself with water just to get the smell of the lingering rubbing alcohol off as well.
Perfect. Yeah, you're able to do your, would call it nightly, but far more apt to say your dawn routine before making your way back to the hamlet you share with Ursula. And Gloria, can you describe Ursula for us and what you'd be doing as Selma comes back home early in the morning?
What time is it? Like, how early?
6:30 by the time that she's back.
So, I'm going to read a thing because Yeah. Most things about Ursula are soft and delicate. She has dark brown wavy hair that falls below her shoulders, olive skin, brown eyes, and round features. Her smile is modest, her cheeks are rosy, and her outward appearance presents charm and poise. Until you look at her eyes. She has been very busy and is looking very tired, and could be because of her work, could be other things, but something is taking its toll on her. And that's my girl. But she would likely be preparing her day. She, even though there's some things going on in her life, she still is seeing people in the town that need help because she's a healer, and she'll just be prepping because she would be up early anyway. So yeah, taking potions, getting all the herbs and stuff that she needs to make everything, and also is finalizing a small little thing for her sister.
Lovely.
What the
So yeah, you're up early enough
Oh no.
to get prep work done. Early enough that, but also late enough that the sun is rising a bit and dispelling a bunch of shadows naturally cast from the woods around your home, as it just becomes slightly livelier, and the town is waking up slowly but surely, and the town crier is out saying something or another about an impending murder trial, but that matters little for us now, as Selma comes back home.
Question for Gloria. What are there any herbs that Ursula is currently low on?
Oh yeah. I think anything that will help with like creating more healing potions for while
Mm-hmm.
Ursula is away, anything like that would be helpful to her.
Okay, so I think
She's sort of stocking up just in case.
yeah, I think on her way back she would have picked some chamomile, some mint, just I'm trying to think what else has been used.
Eucalyptus.
Eucalyptus. Do we have that?
Yeah, we do. Of course we do.
Yeah, of course we have
It's
eucalyptus.
it's native to our town.
To our town.
Yeah.
Love it, canon.
The native eucalyptus plants of the woods, specifically around this one hamlet 45 minutes southwest of London.
Yeah, there's also aloe.
Uh-huh. Yeah, like, the trade companies have done so well in getting things to find that will grow in this one specific region of town. Good job, trade companies of England. Of course, you have it. We are 9 minutes in and already.
I would have picked whatever herbs then that you were low on to bring in as well.
Okay.
Also, we got magic. Who fucking knows? We can grow shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Magic solves everything, right?
Yeah, it's not that you all said we use magic to get eucalyptus. You said it grows natively in this town.
Yeah. Because of magic.
Anyway.
All right. Anyway.
So yeah, I think she'll come in the back probably, as she normally wants to do, and she'll leave the freshly picked herbs close to wherever Ursula is working. I think Selma doesn't talk much. Probably the only person she speaks a lot to is her sister, so she'll just acknowledge you with a grunt as she leaves the freshly picked herbs for you, and probably goes and starts to maybe make a breakfast or something.
You're out late again.
Walking.
Oh. See anything interesting?
She just kind of shrugs off her coat, gives you like a one-armed shrug, and starts to pull out, freshly baked bread that I assume Ursula maybe have made. We've got eggs that have been, farmed from the chickens down the way. And she says, it's just quiet at night. As she starts to pull together a little breakfast, maybe taking a match to light their gas stove.
While you're doing that, Ursula is working on all the things that she needs to make sure everyone in the town is ready or prepared for things. And you see that she's also been working on like a backpack, and like not a backpack. She's like been putting things in it to prepare for things just in case. So she will put out some potions, and then she'll grab some other ones for herself, and making sure that everything is covered. And she might be checking it on you, but she's kind of like, right, okay. You know, you don't have...
You can go first.
You know, you don't have to come with me.
She doesn't even acknowledge you and waves a hand and says, how do you want your eggs done again? As she starts preparing.
Scrambled. But really, you don't have to come, and I will find the answers myself, and you can stay, and if you want, you could even look after the town.
Yes, I am the perfect person to be left in charge of these people who I can't stand. Ursula. And at this point, your twin will come up to you. They are, they're not identical, right?
No.
They're fraternal. Yeah, they're fraternal. I assume she kind of looms over you because she's very tall.
Ursula would be looking up.
Yeah, so I think she like almost has to like bend in half to look down to her. So she'll loom over her, shoving her hands in her trouser pockets, her eyes meeting yours and saying, wherever you go, I do as well.
Well, it's a good thing you said that. And Ursula walks over to the table where she was fixing something, and she is holding something small in her hands, but she grabs your hand and locks something around it. It's around her wrist, and when Selma looks down, it is a bracelet made of twigs and moss. And she says, well, if we ever are separated, this is going to help you find your way back to me.
Oh. Selma doesn't do that. Emma does that. I think Ursula is so giving. I think like that's just her like, even as children, she would always give. So this isn't something new, but the stakes are a lot higher, given what they're about to embark on. So as she's turning her wrist, she'll gently nod in response. Maybe you see her throat constricting as she's trying to hold back emotions. And she'll just give you a very tight, brisk nod. And a hearty clap on the shoulder. And then as she grips your shoulder, she'll say, well, I didn't make you anything because, well, I never leave your side anyway, so you never have to look for me.
And Ursula just pulls Selma in for a hug. And
Awkward.
she just says, I think it's always like this. Ursula is always going to hug and be touchy-feely and in a respectful way. But because they've grown up their whole lives together, I'm pretty sure that Selma knows that she's going to get a hug. And
Correct. Yeah.
what I'm assuming isn't
No.
absolutely opposed to a hug.
No, it's much like it's okay. Like a grumpy, like a grumpy old dog where they actually secretly really want the hug,
Mhm.
but on they're just kind of, awkwardly smushed as
Yeah.
as you hold them.
Yeah, so she pulls her in and says, "Thank you. Thank you for coming. I couldn't do this with anyone else."
I think she'll in response as yet again she's so awkward. If Ursula is life, Selma is death. It's so awkward in sharing affection. She'll just rest her chin on top of your head
Yeah.
in response.
Shifting across space and time, a couple years into the future and across the sea, Mozz, can you introduce us to Alcina?
Walking across the streets, and they're in New York, so they are wearing a different set of clothes than what they're used to, and gazing from people to people, they see a child, a parent, and then to a grandparent, and the cycles of life from age and time kind of going from face to face, from people to people. And Alcina walks currently in, well, the 80s fashion. They have just thoughts running through their head as usual. They think to themselves, time has a funny way of bending when you're running from it. They remember, for a moment as they cross the street, the monsoon rains. Their skin is a deep, warm tone, as soil is after a monsoon. They were a curiosity amongst their peers. And I think of how much of a slip of a girl they were back in that time, however long it's been, whatever that first name was. And the first time they saw a banyan tree where one didn't exist, and the first voice came to them, their mistress. She had given Alcina just a hint, a little taste of power. She used her voice, her caress of silk over steel. She promised so much in the palm of her hand for Alcina to carve her own story. But one day, what a day, and like a fool I had agreed. But it was glorious that single day. I unraveled whispers of time itself, danced through moments stolen from the future, and felt invisible. But when the clock struck midnight, her laughter echoed into my ears, and, well, only for a moment, until I stole one more day. And when she thinks that, she kind of opens her eyes, and darting past her is this one familiar figure. She crosses the street. That same figure kind of crosses her perpendicular to her. When she climbs onto a bus, there's that same figure behind a newspaper. Same face, same feeling. Her raven familiar. Anytime they would meet their eyes, she would give him a sneer, a wink, a tease. If they were close enough, she would whisper, "Raven or spy? I suppose you are both, but if I'm to be haunted, then better by you than her."
and whenever you catch the eye, small, round, black, corvid-like eyes stare back at you, never betraying you, but never answering the question, raven or spy, and you hear back, "Being haunted by me is still being haunted by her. She is my mistress just as much as you are my charge."
She will open up her stopwatch just to see it pass by. It is dusk.
Yep.
Right? So she just... There's a couple more hours. I think we can still have some fun. A little dancing, a little drinks.
Sure. I suppose. You would easily find, walking the streets of New York, around dusk as everyone's letting out, a well-populated bar full of just the atmosphere of smoke and drink and revelry of people who are leaving work and have yet to betray themselves as a business person to a friend, or from who they are to who they want to be. And you walk into this moment of life and overpriced drinks, and you see a myriad of faces in front of you, all time not spent, stories not told, and a single dance floor, not yet occupied, but there's time for the night.
They kind of pull Ezra close and just kind of point to the dance floor. And of course you will dance too. So let's get, by that time they'll get to the bar, kind of smack twice, around for everyone.
And looks around and seeing anyone else that maybe hasn't been brought to your attention, whether to get you more people to see or whether to make it harder for you to do what you hope, you're unsure. But this, to everyone else, humanoid looking figure, when in human form, sometimes they're just a raven walking on the street, sometimes though they're a man in a business suit, or the elderly person who needs to bring someone, or the child that can draw attention. Their form changes just as much as your choices do. But to you, you still see this large, hunched-over figure with wings draping down as though they were a black cloak bending over, a face that's both human and corvid at the same time, unaware if the face is just bent into a beak or if it's a mask. You've never known the answer, and you've never seen either way, true or false. But in the moment, Ezra's just standing around looking, walks up to some people. "Oh, I heard there were drinks at the bar being given out. Perhaps we should all go there together," and is going to round up everyone whose attention you haven't already claimed and send them all to you.
Alcina sees this and kind of just of course, pulls out her wallet and just sees nothing. But pulls out the stack of credit cards and goes from Alcina, Alcinora, Lena. Nope. This one's not maxed out. This one. Begrudgingly, even though he's bringing everyone to the bar.
And as you start to check in for a night of revelry, assuming to yourself it won't be your last, but hey, it's another night to be who you want to be, we will move a couple years closer. Not as big of a time jump this time, only 30 years or so. And not as large of a jump from London to New York, just down to the city that doesn't age. A town right outside of the French Quarter of New Orleans, where Lila is leaving her shift at the bar, knowing Mardi Gras is right around the corner, knowing that while the city is flooded with people right now, it is nothing compared to what will be coming this weekend. Where do we find Lila, and what does she look like?
You can find Lila walking back to her apartment, which is, kind of just a messy artist loft of sorts. but she has black hair that is done up in a messy bun that takes her way longer than she'll ever admit to in the morning. She has perfectly placed little wisps of hair going down with a little side braid. She has a kind of just eternal resting bitch face / pout, but she has some softness to her, as you can see the moonlight reflecting off her pale porcelain skin, which is a stark contrast to her very dark eyeshadow and winged eyeliner. She's in all black, her nails are black, everything, and she'll put her headphones on and listen to some good old Misfits as she walks back to her apartment.
You walk back from your day job, night job, evening job, whatever you want to call it, it's not that people are around, because you don't really serve hurricanes. They're not what you're known for. You serve a lot more absinthe or hard drinks or things to get people going in case they want to disappear into the night a little bit more than your average Mardi Gras goer. The city is adorned with beads. The city is adorned with just people. There's no way to move through without bumping into a bunch, but you seem to manage to find your way, to slip just between them, as though you're stepping into their shadows and not so much into their form, as you walk seamlessly back to your apartment in a way that's much faster than anyone should ever be able to achieve. What does it look like as we get to your apartment?
It's pretty messy. There's some black clothes here, black clothes there, but they're in organized piles, just not organized to anyone besides her. There is some painting supplies kind of strewn about. There's like a can of like turpentine and whatnot, some canvases, an old typewriter that she of course writes on because she's moody and she's like that. So she has an old thrifted writing desk also in the corner, which is usually where she'll stow her things, and a massive wall of plants in the floor-to-ceiling windows.
Yeah, and I think as you walk in and you have to turn on the light to get in, you see a shadow quickly move away from the plants. Perhaps it was staring at them, perhaps it was watering it, you're not sure. But a familiar shadowy presence seems to acknowledge that you're home and goes to just hide behind you as you come back in to start setting up for the evening. And what do you think you're getting up to tonight?
I think she's going to kind of look around, look at her bookshelf, debate on picking up a book, but end up just picking up her journal just to write a little bit about how her day has gone. And then once she picks up her journal, her finger will flash to a page that is very frequented. And it was the day that her best friend vanished. So she'll read over that and then just kind of look at her old book of spells that she has been writing things down in and be like, what if?
Yeah. What if indeed? And what does Lila remember of that day she tabs back to so often? Is the memory still fresh? Is it written over?
There are parts of it that are fresh. She has very distinct flashes of it, but it's more of a Swiss cheese of a memory where there are bits and pieces either missing or that she is blocked out as kind of a defense mechanism, because she does blame herself for it. But her and her friend Faye wanted to open some sort of portal something, just girly things, just girly pop things. Standard Thursday, it was fine. Until the shadows started creeping in from the corners of the room, making her dark walled apartments even darker. And she thought it was just a trick of her mind, the shadows looming over, standing over her friend, waiting and just staring at her like they were prey. And then she just remembers her friend Faye's eyes going black as she just disappeared and ceased to be.
And as you're sitting there, remembering the day from the journal, the familiar shadow behind you walks up, places a hand on your shoulder, and then hands you your spell book.
Thanks, Greg. Want to go on an adventure? You're very supportive, thank you. I like that about you. We always have the best conversations.
Yeah.
You raised it.
And
Yeah.
and as Greg is sitting there raising a good point, I think you get a ping on your phone, an Instagram notification that you've been tagged in a reel that someone sent you.
Ooh. Swipe up.
And when you open it, there's no message it identifiably comes from. You just see, and I just sent it in chat for anyone that needs it, very much your shadow magic like background, very much into like the witch side of Instagram and TikTok and all of that. Just like the picture of a forest path with a blood red moon hanging over it, and in the captions underneath, the message, "For the power I seek, the ending I'm owed, open a path to the forest road. Where plains are removed and time is a road, I call forth the path of the forest road. Where nothing is still and stories untold, show me that place that is fair and cold. My story is mine, it shan't be controlled, I'll take what is mine, I choose the road." And that's the only caption underneath it. Doesn't seem to be accredited to anyone, doesn't seem to be anywhere. But as you're looking at it, you recognize the pattern of the wording, and you recognize the sense of the feeling you have is the same feeling of when you hold your book. You're in a town that's known for magic. You are gotten very good at identifying when someone is trying to sell you some bullshit trinket and when someone actually knows what's going on. You don't know where this post comes from, but you know that this post feels real.
I think she'll go to write it in her book then.
And as you write it in your book, we fade back in time a bit to Alcina at the bar, when some neon lights at the wall, just signs saying open, dance, live, forever, anything, shifts. And the same text is written out on the wall in neon light for you. And we fade back even further to the pounding on a door that's indicative of somebody getting a message early in the morning, but nobody's there and nothing's posted. Instead, a simple piece of parchment has been slid into the door with the same text for you as well. And all four of you hear a ding in your head of the sound of a bell tolling. No identifiable source around, and it doesn't seem like anyone in the club can identify this. Doesn't seem like anyone has commented on or liked or shared this Instagram post. Doesn't seem like any town criers are in your area that could be handing out postings like these. But a message seems to have found the four of you. We'll start with our sisters. How do you respond?
Is this it?
I think Selma, ever the watchful guard dog, would have been the one to go pick it up and present it to Ursula. And she looks to her and she goes, "You need answers."
I don't think we have a choice. When shall we leave?
Now.
Okay. And Ursula's gonna just throw everything she needs to in her backpack. With all the... What is our backpacks in Victorian place?
Knapsacks!
Knapsacks.
Yeah, burlap sacks.
We have a burlap sack and a knapsack!
My fanny pack.
My knapsack has a bunch of eucalyptus in it to remind me of home.
And a tiny little aloe plant.
And an aloe plant too.
So she throws everything she needs in her knapsack and grabs Ursula's hand and she grabs her own hand, Selma's hand, and says, "Are you ready?"
I think while you were shoving things into your knapsack, Selma just took handfuls of, oh my god, what was the herb that they use? Ah, shoot, sorry. It's a use it, you plant it outside your home for protection. It will come to me when we're on break. Yeah. Anyway, bunch of that dried herb in her pockets, will grab your hand and give a firm nod with eyes intently locked on yours.
Pulling back towards Alcina at the bar. Time has passed only half an hour or so revelry just going about the night, and you see the same message on the wall, but not from any posting or site. Just the neon signs spelling out drink, laugh, play, live, all melt slowly until they're shifting out the same poem in a way that indicates to you this is magic. Not just because of the sign itself, but because of what it does to the wall behind it as well. No way would an upscale bar like this have any sort of foresty wallpaper with a bright red moon hanging above it. But you see just this one wall now presenting a forest to you with a mysterious poem, incantation, source, something about it. And it catches your eye.
Alcina was dancing on the dance floor with Ezra. A couple drinks in, kind of has that swing or holding onto him that where it's like a little extra, a little too tipsy. When they catch it and like a little bit of their drink kind of slips when she notices that it is magic. And there is a little fear that starts welling up inside of her and on her face. She'll kind of lean into him, get him by his chin and twist it to the sign. Is that her?
No. I'm not entirely sure what that is. But it's not her.
They'll kind of get closer to the bar with Ezra. Get close to the neon sign, which I'm assuming is behind the bar, and
it's like off on a wall. If there was like a way to like bathrooms this way, kind of like off in the corner in a wall.
They will kind of pull Ezra to them, turning to like face them. With the back to the wall. Well, let's not be late, and kind of pushes Ezra straight through, but by like holding him still by the collar, like halfway through.
And he slips through, and mentally, in the connection you have, it's not severed. There's no panic. You just get a sense of continuity, stillness, calm from your mental link with him.
She just, well, still alive?
Enough.
Good. Could she reach the bar from here?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. She will kind of reach back, grab like the biggest bottle she can find, pour the spout into her mouth for a shot, kind of wipe away the little bit, fine, and then push him straight in and follow him like straight after, right into towards the road.
Beautiful. And then we will fade once more to Lila. What are you doing in your apartment with your spell book in hand, having just written down something you found from the internet, like everyone should always do forever?
Well, when you put it like that, maybe she's reconsidering. No, she's not reconsidering her decisions. I imagine she's just like kind of thinking to herself that this probably came to her for some sort of reason, especially right after encountering the page in her journal, and she's like, maybe this is the way I can get her back. And she will probably just start making a little backpack, which obviously is covered in different patches with safety pins and, fun chains and everything. Makes a nice little clink if you set it down. And she's also going to make sure all of her plants are perfectly watered, because she doesn't know how long she's going to be gone, and we have to make sure that the plants are going to be watered.
Yeah, and as you're watering your plants, you see they remain fine, but just a root system comes out of each one, whether they're like small little aloe plants or they're just like nice indoor trees, and an archway crafted out of the roots of the plants you've so carefully tended presents itself behind you.
She thinks she's just gonna stare at it for a second, making sure it's real, and just like try to touch it, see if it's actually, a physical structure.
When you touch the roots, they're there. It feels very strong. Feels like a root system that's been around for generations and would make a very like if you needed to build something out of it, it would be the best thing possible. But you can see both sides of it. You can walk around it. You can go to the other side and still see through. You just see an archway appear behind you.
After she circles it a few times, she's just gonna be like, all right. And then she's gonna set out some food for the little feral cats on her fire escape, that's the word. And grab her bag, look at Greg, and then be like, you ready? I was waiting for a pump up speech, but I guess, I'll take a shrug. I'll take a shrug. Let's go. I also do this, and then I'm like, thank you. That's awesome. Let's go.
And as you step through, that's where we'll take our break. Thank you so much, everyone. We're going to take a quick little break, and we will see you on the other side as our witches find out what they have just walked into. See you then. So, Lila, you step through your archway, and you see in front of you, behind you, in all directions, a cobblestone path stretching far beyond the horizon. Looking behind you, you're not quite sure if it's bending behind the horizon as well, or if you're just in a circle, as though whichever path you take is going to lead to the same outcome. Around you, an endless sea of trees that you can tell the individual ones at the start, but when you look past it, they just blur into blackness, and nothing is clear what's beyond other than woods. And then you hear the sound of someone shoving what looks to be an amalgamation of a man and a crow through nothing. And just out of the ether, you see someone scrambling with a hand holding their collar, shoving behind them. And after a moment, a figure steps through. And then from behind them, next to the other side, two clearly related characters, but their appearances could not be more different. Seeming also not from a time that you would acknowledge as real anymore. Maybe they came from some sort of recreation exhibit or something. You see your current companions of Elsina, Selma, and Ursula all stepping through. The same no pathway behind them, nothing before them. And the four of you, including Greg and Ezra, are here on this trail.
I think we're all just staring at each other.
I was going to say, because everyone's in different attire, right? We are in period, you're in modern day, and Mozz is in 80s, right?
80s.
The costume of the 80s. At least before they notice you, since they walked in with Ezra's back to you, they're just like, stop complaining, your feathers are fine. And then as they move them, they're just, we are not alone. State your name and purpose.
Lila came here because an archway formed in my apartment. And anything's better than Mardi Gras.
I think Selma looks at Ursula because, no clue what that word means. But just places a reassuring hand on your shoulder to let you do the talking, Ursula, because I don't think Selma should talk.
Hello. My name is Ursula. Ursula Fox Screech. This is my twin, Selma Fox Screech, and my purpose is to heal. I'm a healer in my town. What towns do you come from?
A healer.
So is that like a nurse or?
Yes. But
did you guys just come from Ren Fair? Are you in character?
What? I'm I'm sorry, I don't really understand.
Interesting. I think she's just staring at all of you.
And have you come from a crypt?
That is kind of actually the vibe of my apartment, yes.
Oh. She squeezes Selma's hand, Snyder.
Selma has been keeping eyes on this. He comes off as a tall man in a mask, right?
Yeah,
Ezra.
while in this space does like shift back and forth with more Corvid and less Corvid, as though like the magic that conceals him in reality doesn't have a strong enough hold to keep the like guys up the entire time here.
I think Selma's just been tracking the ebb and flow of the crow, and just says to the collective, still standing behind Ursula, protectively, I assume we mean no harm to each other. She they start laughing and then Selma's eyes will lock onto theirs.
When I get uncomfortable, I'm sorry.
Their eyes will lock onto theirs, and step in front of Ursula and state, "Is there something funny?"
Well, she started laughing, and then I was not really.
And then their eyes will track over to Alcina. Something amuses you?
The will to do harm. I like that we are stating that so quickly. They'll like tap onto Ezra to turn them back into a raven and just like kind of float them onto their shoulder. And they'll kind of walk into the center, but mentally telling Ezra to track Selma's look, like as they're walking, just not break it. I don't know you. I don't know that one or that one. So, harm comes after intent. What do you intend to do here? What is this?
My sister gestures back to Ursula, seeks answers. And if harm comes to her, it will come to you. And she'll step back behind Ursula.
But I don't think any of us will have that to worry about. Yes, I'm here to seek answers. I am a healer, and let's just say that I've found myself in a bit of trouble, and when we found that we can come here, we did not realize there would be others. So if we can work cooperatively, I think that would be in everyone's best interests.
I agree. Now, she'll take out like a little like pocket watch to see what the time looks like, and it's all weird symbols, but it still says it's time for Alcina. But you said, but that's for you, Sean. What does the time look like here? Before?
Yeah, the time here is the same time it was moments ago, except you know, almost the speed of your breathing, the speed of your step, what a second is. You know time. This second hand is moving infinitely slow, as though decades could pass before 1 second is allowed to move on your clock. And then in the reflection of the mirror that opens up to show the time, the face of your mistress shows up, and you just hear in the back of your head, slim offerings to choose from. Good luck.
snap closed. Fine. You said you were a healer. What town? What practice?
Well, she looks at Selma and wonders if, hopefully with their twin powers activated, that she understands.
Our powers combined.
Yeah, that is questioning whether or not we should be truthful, or I guess how much should we share.
Okay. I will take note of that. And in a brusque way says, "She heals the sick. What else do you need to know?"
Does Lila have their phone out?
I imagine it's in her back pocket, and while all this conversation is happening, she like goes to grab it and is seeing if there's service.
No bars.
Alcina would kind of point to the both of you with like two fingers, and then like seeing them do that, point to the contraption in their hand, just what? And pull out the bulkiest. I need to look up cell phones. Something of the 80s, and kind of just twist it around for everyone to see, especially to Lila, and then hearing healer, because where Alcina is from, their time would have came right after the Victorian era, correct? So they just have a quizzical face, and they're just like, where are we truly from?
New Orleans.
France?
No. Well, settled by the French. Kind of. Depends who you ask.
I don't understand what you're holding in your hands.
This is a phone.
Ursula nearly falls into a coma.
Sister! I wrap my arms around her and make sure she doesn't fall. Did that do it to her? As I'm fanning your face.
Matt, I didn't think there was magic like this.
But, I mean, it depends what headlines you read. Some people would believe that, but no.
It's a town crier in a small, lit box.
What?
That's what they said. Headlines. Like on the top of newspapers.
Oh, like Reddit?
What?
What?
Reddit? I have not read it.
I've read. Yes, I've read newspapers.
Okay, this is gonna be fun. Okay.
Are you from different dimensions, worlds?
No, but what year is it for you?
I think she turns over to her sister.
It's 1892.
Fascinating. Let me guess, 80s, 90s, around? And she'll point at Alcina. But you speak like you're older than that.
Apparently not much older. Alcina is fine. I am, yes, currently in 1980s.
currently. Interesting.
This is. And they'll open up their stopwatch again. Just like, this is moving quite slowly. So, just on the, anxious witches, let's move. Let's just start walking a little farther away because whatever this is, I
Together.
don't understand. And we can talk.
Together.
Well, you did say cooperatively.
That's true. Okay, and she just blindly follows Alcina, gripping onto Selma's hand.
Selma's always there. Very much your scarecrow shadow in the background.
And Selma, can I get a perception check from you, please?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
What do I perceive?
Oh.
Not much. I don't perceive a lot. Wait, do I have advantage? Hold on. I forget what rules we're using. What rules?
Oh yeah, we haven't talked about that. Audience at home, this isn't really a D&D game. It's a combination of D&D, Blades in the Dark, and Kids on Bikes, with a bunch of extra homebrew tossed in. So these character sheets will not feel familiar. These dice rolls, probably not going to feel familiar. When they just start asking, can I cast a spell that doesn't exist, and I say yes, that's because we're not doing straight D&D. We're playing a homebrew system that has not been named that I kind of amalgamated and then asked the cast how they felt about it, and they all said, yeah, it's vibes, and so we're running with it. So yeah.
Got a vibe. Could I could I investigate instead?
Yeah, you can investigate instead. That's fine.
Okay, because I can't perceive shit. Can't perceive jack shit. Okay, that's much better. Yet again, I know we're not doing 19. 19.
Okay, yeah. On your 19, you have not stopped watchdogging everyone else since you've got here, and you've noticed one other thing has not stopped watchdogging specifically you, as you see just the raven perched on Alcina's shoulder, never looking away from your gaze. Not looking directly at you, specifically looking at your eyes and where they're tracking. The other thing you would notice is that with every step that Lila takes, two shadows follow her on the ground.
Interesting. Okay. Fascinating. And none of them have been threatening, right? The shadows and the crow have not been threatening, right? They're just present.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they, like, as you're just, like, trying to notice anything, those are both the things, especially because you saw Ezra be turned back into a crow, into a raven. So you would know, like, okay, that's some sort of weird magic. The dual shadow thing is not something I think you'd ever have experienced.
You are both powerful, she notes, as they walk to Alcina and Lila. I've never seen crafts like yours.
And what type of craft is yours?
I think a very small smirk, almost wolfish smile. A feral kind. And when she says feral, she looks directly at the crow. Locking eyes.
Alcina, you immediately get the warning sense again of, like, there is something coming for us mentally from Ezra.
Alcina, like, pets Ezra and turns to Selma just with their voice, kind of saying, like, from the front, oh, if you have to worry, then he is not what you would worry about. He's just a little bird who cannot fly, not far away. But two sisters, to find a road like this, I see we are not only the powerful ones. And they say that to Lila.
So we have a healer and someone with feral magic. fascinating. What a duo.
And once cloaked in shadows.
In more ways than one. She'll get like a little outfit, you know.
You confuse me. And she notes to Alcina, and a bird that cannot fly, yet time listens to.
Oh, who he listens to, actually. That's a different story.
Well,
but yes, he has wings. Come on, fly, birdie, fly. And she's just goading him at this point. Just, I don't know, 80 years of them having this relationship at this point.
Yeah, you can't, like, nothing feels because of the way that Ezra has to interact with you. But especially those of you who have observed, like, any sort of nature or animalistic instinct, like, the beady eyes flash more animalistic for a second as they're, like, wanting to peck out at Alcina. They're out of rage or release or something, but can't make a move as it's bound to not harm them in this moment. And then the eyes flicker back to the more sentient and knowing eyes that you've recently been seeing.
well. And at this, she'll lean back over to her sister. Do you have an idea of? Because they've been walking, right? They both just been walking down this road, right?
Yep.
She had leaned down to her sister and said, well, we're just walking, right? Leaned down to her sister and said, does the note provide us guidance on where to head next?
Oh. And then from her fanny pack, her knapsack, Ursula is going to take out the note. And Sean, does it give us any guidance? I would love to read it myself, but we often share 800 million messages in our chat, so...
Yep, I will resend it right now because I would love for you to share it yourself. I'm going to send it in your private DM so that it doesn't get out-typed by the time you read it aloud.
Oh, would you like me to read it out loud? Okay, that'd be cute.
Yeah, I would love to.
Okay, so she pulls it out, reads it, and says, for the power I seek, the ending I'm owed, open a path to the forest road, where plains are removed and time is... What is this word? Time is erode?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the word.
I had to language it. It's a road.
E-R-O-W-E. I just don't know what that means.
Yo, eroded, but I wanted it to be a road, so that's what it is. Keep going, please.
Question it.
I call the path to the forest road, where nothing is still and stories untold. Show me that place fair and cold. My story is mine, it shan't be controlled. I'll take what is mine, I choose the road. And I assume that everyone else got one of these.
Yep.
So we each seek something.
Look at us finding stuff in common.
Yet again, someone is very confused by Lila in general, so you get a heavy side eye.
I do like that we do have commonalities. I just would... I don't know. I think she's like fighting whether or not she wants to open up about what she's here for, and wouldn't ask that of other people if she's not willing to share.
I think Selma would just give you a reassuring, it'd be very subtle, a reassuring nudge with your shoulder as you walk.
Okay. If we're going to be traveling together, I feel it's important to perhaps be open. Yes, we can work collaboratively, but I would also like to be open. Um, I am. I've essentially. Selma and I have somewhat run away to find answers to prove my innocence. There is a trial going on, or is about to start, where I am being accused of one of my patients passing. But while that would be very common, well, not too common, but this specific case seems much, much worse. And, well, I'm on trial for murder, and I'm here to prove my innocence.
Is there a way we could help with that?
I'm here to find answers. I'm not sure if we can all maybe share information as we find it. If there's any hints or clues that pop up, maybe that we could find answers for each other. I'm not sure.
Alcina would turn around and just, and answers for what? Did you commit the murder?
No, I would never. I
And
care very
who is owed
deeply.
these answers? Because if you didn't
Everyone
commit the
who
murder, then who cares?
It's easy to blame the healer.
It always has. I've seen it in even before the new country started. They're just blaming the one who seemed to do the right thing, or was the awkward one. Who, if you didn't do it, and I'm guessing your sister believes you, are you looking answers for yourself?
I need to prove my innocence. If anything, I care very deeply about what I do, and many people have trusted me, and I just want to prove to them that it wasn't me. And that's so I can continue to be helpful to those who need it.
For what it's
So
worth,
you're
I believe
walking
you.
this road?
Thank you. Yes. And
You're
I
walking this road to return back then.
that's the idea.
And you are sure this
Well,
road leads back home?
I hope so. If I get the answers to prove my innocence, then we can come back and return to our town, and hopefully everything will go back to normal.
If not to return home. Are you running away? She says to Alcina.
I wanted a road. A road I found. A story that's mine. Just like the little poem. And time is a road. I call the path to the forest road. And here we are. And they kind of just watch. They just watch the little like second hand a little bit more. Just kind of enjoying how much of a lull there is. And they kind of look up, just not really. I just don't see any point in returning to convince people of who I am when I know who I am.
And you, Delilah, do you run, or are you looking to return to your home?
That's not exactly in my plan or intention. I'm more intending to find someone that I lost a few years ago and blame myself for. Not through necromancy. She's living. Just to be very clear. Well, she was the last time I saw her.
Lost in time like this one. She points to Alcina.
Perhaps. Lost somewhere. I fear for where. And I just hope she's not suffering.
Or if she is, it is a quick one.
More looking for answers in that type of way. And if I can bring her back.
Well, all very noble goals. She gestures to her sister.
I do think so. I have to agree. So, shall we?
Is there anything in front of us? Like, what have we seen?
Yeah. So far, as you have been walking, it's just winding. Very, like, if you're not looking back, you can't tell if it isn't just going in a circle, if it isn't going forward, if it isn't just leading you nowhere. Until you all get to a spot that you've all stated your goals. And then a huge sigh of relief in the air around you seems to come in, as any of you who are magically gifted just feel your access turned up to 100. You feel the weave breathe into you in a way you've never felt it before, and all of your goals and all of your identities and all of your beliefs are all yours to claim if only you're the one to take them. You feel like everything you've trained for is still possible, but there's so much more you can do now if only you allow yourself to have it. And then Alcina, as you look at your watch, you see that not only is the time not resuming, it's still quite slow, but it does pick up a bit. You also see that the magic of the outside world seems to be competing to try and get in here as well. And the path straightens out, and it leads forward to, off in the distance, a shadowy box. Could be a house, could be just an entity on the road. Something, Lila, so dark that not even your eyes are able to see what's inside of it. It's a good distance on the horizon. Would take maybe an hour of walking to get there if time mattered or was real. But that's the only objective in front of you now, is whatever that is. But you have all stated your desires or stated your intent, and the road has rewarded you by allowing you access to its first step, and access to power you had not prior imagined.
I think Ursula, we can feel that this is happening, right? Like we can feel.
Yeah. Very much. It's very much like a battery supercharging in. Like, as soon as it does that shift, any sort of power you have, you just feel there's more of it.
I think Ursula is going to try something. She lets go of Selma's hand for a second, and she holds her hand out and like to the skies, and suddenly everyone around them feels and sees the trees moving as big gusts of wind are circling around them above and everything, and the trees are swaying above them all. And she puts her hand down and says, interesting. Just keeps walking.
I think when Ursula let go of Selma's hand, much in the way that they're having kind of like a power surge, it's a good thing she let go of her hand at that moment, because Selma's immediately clenches into a fist that she shoves into her trench coat pockets as her nails start to extend, digging into her palms, drawing blood. And she bites her lower lip as her teeth start to extend.
And I'll leave it to you, Selma. Is that permanent, or does it retreat after the flush goes through your body for the first time?
I think it would slowly ebb away. But if anyone tried to talk to her, interact with her, they get shrugs, and it's very much like trying to concentrate on and much like when you're trying to temper anxiety, a cool down, or grounding yourself in the present reality, slowly the teeth will retract, the claws will retract, but the blood on her hands from the nails digging into them, the little half moon marks, will still remain.
Nice. And Alcina and Lila, what would the two of you be doing as the magic swells within you?
I think Lila will just kind of, extend her fingers out and then back in, and we'll just be like moving them back and forth and seeing if she can like lengthen her shadow without even like speaking any invocation or anything.
Yeah, it like ways back and forth in any way you will it to. The other thing you would notice is that the tether between you and Greg seems to lessen. Doesn't feel like he's leaving you, but feels like your ability to keep Greg controlled and tame and in a safe space seems to be fading away, not to a point that it's impossible, but to a point that you don't have the tether you've had over him for the past several years.
Hopefully he'll behave when I need him to. Okay. She will do nothing about that right now.
Okay. And then Alcina.
This power is different, right? Doesn't feel like that had that hold that their patron, like that kind of power. It's different, like just very powerful.
It feels like raw, innate magic that could be used and channeled. It doesn't feel borrowed. It doesn't feel like you're stealing it. It feels like it's just in the air for you to take and do what you want with.
They'll just, their hands will just shake and their body, like they're quaking in it, where their hair kind of streams forward, and like this ferocious kind of looking smile coming to their face. Like they're just enjoying the pure power, and then kind of looking up to the sky. They're kind of muttering, at least. Even me, probably Ezra only is like the closest who could hear it, but it was just like, I wasn't meant to live this long, was I? And yet here I stand, mocking the heavens with every sunrise, and just just like little like laughs like that. Just enjoying that, like, oh, finally they got nice power.
And then you just hear back from Ezra. Enjoy it while you can. As slow as the clock ticks, day will still come. And as my lady said, your offerings here are quite thin. One of them will need to be tomorrow. Your choice of who.
Alcina is just hearing that, and the smile just kind of thins out. But they're still in this moment.
And I think with that, as each of you privately or publicly in Ursula's case, bringing the magic of the wind around, sit with your thoughts for a moment and make your way down the forest road towards the first obstacle in front of you. And with that, we will wrap up this episode. So if we can have each of you go around and say who you are, and then we'll leave, and then audience, you can come back next time, and that's how this whole thing of watching stuff works. Gloria. No. Let's go in the order we met the characters. Emma, who are you? How can we find you?
Hi guys, I'm Emma. I'm kind of lame where I don't do a cool handle or anything just because I'm boring. But I'm Emma Ramosco, and you can find me as Emma Ramosco _VO on most socials. And then I think I'm Emma Romama on TikTok. But yeah, come by, come say hi, come let's talk witchy stuff because I'm actually trying to get more involved in it and I'm trying to like learn more about it on my end. And I love my tarot cards. Anyway, that's me.
Gloria.
Every time I read Emma's TikTok, I think Emma Romama. I don't know if that was intentional.
How about that romance?
I don't know if that was intentional, but that's how I read it every time.
Obsessed.
I'm Gloria. Glow pinks on everything except YouTube, which is Charm Party. Hooray! I'm not good at promoting. I never have been. I never will be.
No.
Say hi.
Mozz.
Hi, I'm it's mozzarella everywhere. I also everything is different. If you're watching on Twitch and YouTube, it's probably a mix of TTRPG, GN stuff, and gaming. But if it's on TikTok and Instagram, that's more voice acting things. But yeah, that's where you can find all that cool stuff. Come and hang out. Same.
Jenna.
And I am Jenna Daggers on every platform. Sometimes there's an underscore between the two, but most of the time there isn't. And I do things, and you can find them around those parts.
I do things.
And I'm Sean. All of you here probably know that. This is Help Action Needed. We are just a space that creates things like stories with these wonderful people. So if you enjoyed this, please stick around, because there will be many more episodes to come for the tale of these 4 characters. But until then, we will see you next time. Goodbye!